Greetings, everyone. Rev D here, Reverend Deborah Johnson. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries, our weekly gathering. We're so pleased to be here in community with you. Let's just all take a breath, huh? Are you ready to create a new story? Are you ready? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today, and why it's so very, very important, not only in our personal lives, but within the broader collective environment in which we live. I say welcome to you, whether you are here for the very first time or whether you are quite seasoned and have been with us for decades. I know that there's something that each and every one of us gets out of this time together, regardless of when it is that we're actually tuning in. Okay? So I invite you to just open up, to prepare your consciousness, to ask very deeply for a revelation, like whatever it is that you need to know right now, that is what is revealed to you. It could be something that I said, or not. I probably shouldn't share this, but it is true. There's this game that I used to play with myself when we still had our center. So as people were pouring out, I'd stand at the bottom of the steps and, do the kind of proverbial, meet and greet. And then I would listen to people telling me what I said and what it meant to them. And it was always the most interesting thing, because although I don't always remember exactly what I've said, that's why I like the power of rewind, that I can go back and listen to it on or see it on video, listen to it. I know, generally speaking, like the principles and where I was probably going. And sometimes they say stuff and it's like, no, that isn't exactly what I said. But here's the thing. If it got them to where they needed to go, so be it. I wouldn't bother to correct them. I just not, oh, well, that's nice. That's nice. No, and doggone well, I didn't say that. It was only if what they say they got was such a distortion that it was going to be completely contradictory to whatever message that I was trying to make. Then I might speak up. But even in that case, it had to be really, really dire. Because I know that everybody's going to hear whatever it is that they need to hear. And that's okay. That's not a flaw. That's the way that we're built. And I trust the universe that everybody will hear whatever it is that they need to hear. And what I know is that every time that you come back to this, you're going to hear something else. So don't treat this like one and done. Oh, well, I heard that. Come back. Come back. And I guarantee you, you'll pick up things that you just missed before, or you'll hear the same thing, but hear it in a different way, because you're now different. Just saying. Let's take a breath, huh? And to make sure that we're all on the same page of our intention for being here, we're going to put up Inner Light's purpose statement. Inner Light is an open, diverse, inclusive community of individuals and organizations dedicated to spiritual transformation. We provide tools for activating higher possibilities by applying universal spiritual principles to all circumstances. Our aim is personal and global healing through the omnifaith energy of love and of the revealing of our own inner light. Promoting life's sacred interconnectedness, we embody spiritual oneness, appreciate individualized expressions, and honor all paths that lead to spiritual truth, justice, and ecological regeneration. Breathe that in. That's not just a statement about an organization. Those are living principles. It's the place where we choose to live in consciousness. And I'm so glad that this day, at this moment, you're joining us there. As it says in our purpose statement, how we offer tools. And these tools are tools that help us to recalibrate. They help us to reground, to remember the truth. Today, we're talking about creating a new story. And the affirmations are going to come up on your screen. I invite you to say them along with me. Our experiences is not what happens, but how we name it. Our reality is created by our narratives, the stories we tell ourselves. I take the time to examine my own proclamations. I intentionally choose what I want to reinforce in my consciousness. I have the courage to re-examine concepts and ideas that no longer serve. I don't waste time trying to get rid of thoughts. I create new ones. I remind myself of potential and possibilities. I celebrate grace bestowed in mysterious ways. The goodness of life isn't betrayed by my silence. Praises to our greater yet to be. Let's let that sink in. Notice if there's something that you're resonating with. Maybe it's our experience. It's not what happens, but how we name it. Where I don't waste time trying to get rid of thoughts, I create new ones. See if there's something that might be challenging you a little bit. Like I intentionally choose what I want to reinforce in my consciousness. Or I embrace grace bestowed in mysterious ways. The goodness of life isn't betrayed by my silence because I praise. Just notice. I invite you to come back, repeat these, let them keep watch with you. Let it simmer, saute a little bit. Okay? You want it to root within you. We're just exposing you to it. You can find it on our website. You can come back and see it in the archives on YouTube. If you're on a computer, you can take a screenshot right now. Or you've got a electronic device around like an iPad, cell phone or something, just tablet, just take a picture. You want to make sure that this is available and accessible to you. Yes. Take a breath. So, to help further cultivate our consciousness for the message, we're going to take a look at a video by a group that goes by the name of Empty Hands. Nemo Patel is the guy that you'll see mainly featured doing the rapping. You'll hear Daniel Namod in the background as well. This offering is called Dear God.
Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, growing up I always prayed, said your name probably over 100 times a day. Never met you, couldn't see you, but had a lot of faith. Thank mom and dad for introducing us at a young age. As I grew a little older though, so did my mind. Curiosity turned to skepticism in due time. Began questioning all the rituals and little rhymes from the sacred books. They said you wrote each and every line. How could you? But they said you did, so you must have. Wasn't 100% sure, but in them I trusted. So I bowed, kneeled, sat in silence, and even read. Went to the temple and prayed every night before bed. Looking back now, I'm not really sure what prayer meant. I guess closing my eyes and doing what other people said, and asking for things like any other kid. Interest in the relationship that you and I had. Hold my hand, so I don't walk alone. Call your name, don't know where to go. I found my way, I found my way, I found my way home. Now I'm yours again. By the time I got to college, God, I prayed much less, except for before eating. Understandable, I guess. See, I wasn't clear from the start as to who you really were. Then I saw and heard so much fear, it all became a blur. I thought religion was supposed to be pure and not bad. And when I saw people use your name in vain, it made me sad. And that was just the start. Even worse was segregation. Temple, mosques, church, synagogues, and different congregations. They all spoke your gospel, even posted up your paintings. But behind your name, in the dark, they murdered and defamed. Instead of love, God, intolerance and greed has pervaded. Hollow in the marketing, but shallow in the faith. I was jaded, God, didn't really understand the reason how all your children in your name could dare commit treason. So I kept my distance and just prayed that one day you'd bring it all together in my heart and just explain. Hold my hand, so I don't walk alone. Call your name, don't know where to go. I found my way, I found my way, I found my way home. Now I'm yours again. When I hit 30, God, the clouds started to part. The answers started seeping in. I think you heard my call. You started showing up everywhere, not only when I'd fall, but every small blessing. I could start to feel it all. The love, the patience, the angel, the Satan. How we're all sinners who fall, but get up to be saints. The humility, the grace, acceptance of all the change. Suddenly not being kind started to feel strange. You used to be a statue, but not anymore. I see you more outside those walls than inside those doors. Your mother nature, the sun, the water, and the dirt. My enemy, my best friend, what hits me at my core. Most of all, you're my teacher to be a better soul. Falling down, getting up, so every moment I can grow. You are in me, God. You are the deepest root. From darkness to light, you are my inner truth. Hold my hand, so I don't walk alone. Call your name, don't know where to go. I found my way, I found my way, I found my way home. Now I'm yours again. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God, I found my way home, I found my way home. Dear God.
Let's breathe that in. Found my way home. And I stand corrected. The other singer was Chico, not Daniel Namot. Nemo Patel was, in fact, doing the rapping, though. I love the work of Empty Hands. They're just spot on. We're talking about creating a new story. It's a topic that I speak of often because it is so incredibly important. Our experience is not what happens. It's how we name what happens. I contend as spiritual beings that is one of our most sacred responsibilities. Listen to what I'm saying. One of our most sacred responsibilities is to mind our mind, to be consciously aware as much as possible of our thoughts and how we choose to direct that energy. It's almost like we're kids rolling around in the street in big army tankers, okay, having no idea of the power that we are wielding and the difference that our thoughts are making all the time. All the time. And you're not being aware of it doesn't diminish it. In fact, it does the opposite. It lets it go unfiltered and unchecked. No restraints, no constraints, free reign. The story that I'm talking about, it is not a past tense evaluation. Sometimes we'll say something like, well, that's my story and I'm sticking with it. The story isn't just a snapshot, a photograph of something in the past. Our story also is a blueprint for the future. Okay? Our every thought that we're thinking makes an imprint. It makes an imprint not only in our own selves, but in the universe as well. And here's the thing. We bring about what we think about. And the universe doesn't care whether you want it, don't want it, don't like it. It's gonna come and manifest anyway because your energetic field is like an order that says, this is what I want. So let's say for a moment that you're really pissed off. Okay, you're in a breakup, some kind of a romantic breakup, and your mind is just being consumed with the fact that your partner, quote unquote, cheated on you. And this has been a pattern that you have experienced in your life with other relationships. Okay. And you're just mad. Okay. So you're mad the first week. You're mad the second week. You're mad 2 months later. You're still mad 2 years later. Okay. You don't even want to feel that. But as long as that's your narrative, I got cheated, people are always doing me wrong, that's where you're living. You're living. So for all of your talk about this is what I don't want to have anymore, the energy that you are giving it, you're living there. You are. That becomes your reality. This is so incredibly important. This works for us. This works against us. When we want to manifest something, we have to become it. Okay, we have to start to resonate and recalibrate to that frequency. If you want healthy relationships, you have to show up that way. You can't be all mean and nasty and angry, judgmental and unforgiving, and think that somehow or another this relationship is going to turn into a healthy relationship. No, especially if you're still harboring all your stuff about your ex. I'm telling you now, if you're trying to date somebody new and those first couple of dates, all they're doing is talking about the problems they had with their ex, run. Just run. Okay? They're not available. Okay? They're not ready. They don't have a space that's open. They don't have a story in their mind of being available. In their mind, they're still connected to all of this other stuff that they don't want. This is true for us on the individual level. This is true for us on the collective level. There are not different sets of laws for different things. So just like you don't want to experience a certain thing in a romantic relationship, the same thing could be happening with us on a social political level. Certain things, I just don't want to experience this. I don't want to feel this. I'm pissed off at this. I'm angry about this. But here's the thing. That's where you live. What do you want? What is the vision of what you do want? See, if you talk more about, I want a healthy relationship, I want honest relationships, I want relationships where there's good communication, I want relationships where we show up in integrity, I want to be able to receive back the same kind of respect and dignity that I put out. That's a whole different thing than I don't want to be hurt anymore and I'm tired of people cheating on me. Well, it's the same thing. We can say, oh, I'm tired of the White House, or I'm tired of GOP, I'm tired of this thing or tired of that one, and spend all your time talking about like how tired you are of them. Or you can speak about what you do want. You can talk about, I want law and order. I want fairness, equity, justice. I want a society that is caring and concerning and concerned. I want research. I want education. I want health care. I want human rights respected. This is what I want, and this is the world I believe in, and this is the world that I'm going to spend my energy creating. Can you feel how that's a completely different story than just resist this, I don't want that? Your experience is not what happens. Your experience is how you name what happens. Listen to what I'm saying. It's how you name it. Let's say, for example, there's a wreck of the school bus that your child is on. Or there's a school shooting or something like that. And you don't know. And for whatever reason, it's taking hours and hours for you to get any information about whether your kid is safe or not. And you got some preliminary information that actually was inaccurate, not intentionally so, but it gave you reason to believe that your child had not survived. Like any parent, you go into grief, you go into rage, you go into all the different emotions that you can possibly imagine that a parent would go through. that becomes the reality in which you're living. 12 hours later, you get some call, some first responder somewhere or something, and you find out your kid is perfectly safe. Perfectly safe. Okay. The fact was, the quote unquote truth was, that your kid was all right. But you didn't know that. So you just were reacting and responding on the story that you were telling yourself. I'm not putting this out as a judgment to say that the parent was thinking the wrong thing. I'm using this as an example to say it is done unto us as we believe. So for that time period, everything was responding as though that were the truth. Make this work for you. Make it work for you. I'm having a flash in this moment. Interesting. Someone passed away in the Los Angeles area recently. Her name was Jewel Williams. And Jewel owned the largest and longest running Black gay establishment like on the planet. It was close to my house. It was called Catch One. Big place. And it had different rooms and restaurants and bars and things and whatnot in it. And it literally was like this community center. And I honestly don't know what I would have done if it had not existed. If there was not some safe place that I could go. I don't know, within the last 4 years or so, there was the 40-year anniversary of that establishment. And I went to LA and we sat around and we talked. And it was really good. And we both evolved. My first business was actually putting on social events and affairs for Black lesbians in the Los Angeles area, theater parties and dinner cruises and this kind of stuff. And we both evolved into our respective ministries. She became an acupuncturist and was really big in LA on well-being and healthy food production and vegan diets and this kinds of thing, and still had like that establishment. The reason this is coming up for me is that in a world that was so phenomenally hostile in the 70s and the 80s, that place was a place where we could be. Listen to what I'm saying. Where we didn't have to spend all of our time fighting the world. There was a place that we could be, where we could envision. There was actually something that happened there that I've never shared publicly. This was in 1980 when Jesse Jackson was running for president for the first time. And there were a couple of big rallies that were happening there. At that time, I was also on the board of directors of the LA Gay Center, and I was part of the behind the scenes stuff with rallying and the gay community trying to get some kind of position within the Democratic Party to have delegates and representatives and all of the rest of that. This is a big club. And he's walking down one aisle and I'm walking down another aisle. And there's maybe a row of, let's say, like 16 chairs between us. He's walking down and he sees me. And he walks over towards me. And he does this by moving the chairs, like to create a path. It's theater style chairs, but he's making a path and coming straight towards me. He's a big guy too. And I looked him in the eyes. I was like a little kid. And something came over me. And it was the first time that I ever admitted anywhere publicly, I just looked at him and I said, I'm supposed to be a minister. And he hugged me. He just hugged me. He didn't say a word. He just looked at me and smiled. What it took for me to create a new story about my possibilities and the fact that I had that exchange with him in a Black Gay club where it wasn't just about coming out about my sexuality. I was coming out about my spirituality, like in his presence. And it may be the first moment of any kind of like integration of all of that as possibility. You have to give yourself permission to go beyond the past being the precedent. If you're busy looking for evidence of the possibility of all of the things that you're called for, you're going to be looking. Nobody else can be you. So you're not going to find the evidence out there in the world of the possibility of who you're supposed to be because it's you. Your dreams are waiting for you to come true. But you don't get there by whining. You don't get there by complaining. You don't get to equality and justice and freedom and acceptance and compassion. You don't get to all of that stuff just by looking at what's missing. You don't get there by demonizing. Really listen to what I'm saying. If you want the world that works for everyone, it's really got to work for everyone. Your goal cannot be just to silence the ones who are silencing you. Your goal cannot be just rallying all the troops so that you can take over power from the people taking over power. Do you want them as your neighbor? Do you want your kids to go to school together? Do you want to be able to share in the same communities, in the same wealth? Do you want to be able to all participate in the goodness? My ancestors in the fields of the South as slaves, they wanted freedom, but they weren't looking for the day when they could kill old massa. They weren't looking for the day when they could then enslave the people who enslaved them. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there afraid of the replacement theory, and they're really afraid that there's going to be payback, okay? That the same thing that they've done to so-called minorities is going to come back and get them. That's not the story. Those people in the fields wanted the story of enslavement, the story of subordination, the story of inequality to end. They didn't want to just replace it with other people, but to end, to create a new story, to want to participate in the very systems and institutions that had them enslaved. Feeling like they had a right to belong. And how many of us are just giving up? Oh, I don't want to be bothered with politics. Oh, I don't want to look at this. Well, they've done this to me and they've done this to us, and, screw them. No. Really? What do you want? What's your story? What's your vision? Do you believe any of it? If you believe it, will you live it? Will you live it like liberty and justice for all? Not just complain that other people aren't giving it. Can we have justice for the unjust? I'm being reminded now of a situation. I'm getting a little deja vu. Maybe I shared this before. But I was at the San Francisco Foundation. This was a number of years ago when we were, state of California was in deep in the marriage equality debate. And I was on this panel with a Muslim guy who had 7 children. And he was so homophobic. Oh my God, he was just so anti, like all of it. And I remember at the end saying this to him about how, he wasn't going to change his mind about me, and I wasn't going to change my mind about him, or his beliefs, I should say. He thought that marriage equality was wrong, and I thought that marriage equality was deserving. So I said to him and to the crowd at the end, I said, you think I'm wrong, and I think you're wrong. But here's the difference between the two of us. I will forever fight for your right to say I'm wrong. You just want to silence me. Is your story big enough to actually hold your vision? your story, the stuff that comes out of your mouth, what you are proclaiming to be so. Can people listen to you and see what you stand for and not just what you stand against? Do your kids know how much you love them? How much you believe in them and their possibility? Is that what they hear from you? As opposed to just all the ways that they've messed up and how they're going to be the death of you yet. Now, that's an affirmation you want to stop using. Just saying. It's time. It's time. It's time for us to assume the responsibility over this tremendous, just unbelievable thing called our minds. There's more connectivity and synapses that's going on in your brain every day than the connections of all the cell phones all over the world at the same time. And at any moment, you have a chance to influence. At any moment, you have a chance to start a new pathway, to set something else in motion. You don't have to stick with what was before. And here's the thing, I'm going to end on this. If you are not thinking new creative thoughts, if you are not thinking, whether it's your personal life, professional life, political life, whatever, if you're not thinking of your vision, putting something out there of where you really want to go, then everything that you're doing is counterproductive. We're either colluding with the status quo, like actively perpetuating it, or by our lack of intervention, our lack of attention, we're being complicit and just allowing it to be. So I'm not saying you got to fill your mind up with the news, but are you being complicit? Are you being complicit? Reading the news is not necessary. Praying and keeping the highest watch is. And you don't have to watch the news to do that. Don't abdicate. Don't acquiesce. The world needs you. And the bonus is, if that's where you keep your attention, that's where you get to live in consciousness. The freedoms and things that I'm enjoying now that seemingly didn't exist when I was a kid, I was already living it. To me, it was real. What do you want? You want to just wait around for the facts to catch up? Or live in a whole new experience? Let's pray. God is good. God is good all of the time. I'm not just talking about some of the time. I'm talking about all of the time. Be still. As it says in the Psalms, be still and know and that I'm God. Be still. In the midst of all the activities, the rushing to and fro, the responsibilities, we take a moment for that stillness. That place of divine connection, where we know and we know that we know. There's no confusion, there's no worry, there's no doubt. Where we're free, where we're transcendent. This is where we live and move and have our being. We speak the word from this place. Too blessed to be stressed. Living in the vastness of our divinity. Triumphant. Oh, yes. Divine order have its way. Right action, the order of the day. No blockages, no interferences, no obstruction. No restraints, constraints. Divine order is untethered. It doesn't need permission. Doesn't even really need our cooperation. We just won't experience the goodness without it. So we get into alignment and say, have thine own way. Order. Order our steps. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us. So we have open eyes, open arms, open ears, open hearts to love, to care, to share, to embrace, to support, to uplift, to encourage, to empower. We care, we share. All around the world. All needs met. There's enough. In our mind's eye, we see it all getting to where it needs to go. We don't stay focused on all of the judgments that we have about why the circumstances exist. No. We're hanging out in the victory. We're hanging out in the done. We're hanging out in the it is finished. We're hanging out in the no person, place, or thing stands in the way. We're hanging out in the all things are working together for good now. We know that it comes through that way. Pray for all the prayer requests that have come in. We know that a fresh wind is coming through. All needs met individually and collectively. We live this, we breathe this. We get out of the way, we allow it to be. And so it is. We take that breath. You are invited. You're invited to seek out our prayer ministry. If you have a prayer request or something on your heart, something going on in the world, Maybe it's just you want somebody to stand in agreement with you for something wonderful that's breaking through. Give us a call. 831-465-9090 at extension 254. You can send us an email at the number 4 and the word prayer at innerlightministries.com. Prayer practitioners are waiting. They're available. They'll get right back to you, send you that prayer, connect with you. No need to go it alone. Put the commune back into community. It's all good. We just let it be. So it is. Amen. Yes, and to help us reinforce everything that we've been talking about, we're teaming up with a couple of other spiritual communities in the Santa Cruz area. We're teaming up with Temple Bethel and Centers for Spiritual Living Santa Cruz, two of our sister churches, for an event called Pulled by Vision. Pulled by Vision is an extraordinary opportunity. It's an in-person event. It'll come on your screen. I want to invite you to take a snapshot of this, a screenshot, or take a picture with your phone. You can use the QR code to register or the URL that's there. This is a time for us to come together, and we envision the highest possibilities for some of the most critical issues in our society right now. Things like democracy, immigration, climate change, education, health care, global relations, the economy, electoral politics, those kinds of things. And there's a whole exercise that we'll be doing where we have a chance to examine what it is that we're thinking now and to shift our narratives, to upgrade, to be guided by an inner vision. All you have to bring is yourself and a friend. We will supply everything, all the markers, crayons, all of that. We really want people to come. We're offering it free of charge. There will be a love donation at the end. Monday evening, August the 18th, 2025, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Temple Bethel in Aptos, next door to Cabrillo College. We want to encourage you to come early. Make sure that you can get parked and situated. If the lots are full, there is additional parking at Cabrillo College. The doors open at 6, and we will be starting promptly at 6:30. Highly interactive and engaging. We have 18 facilitators who are going to be leading this process in the small groups. I serve as the lead facilitator, leading everybody through the visioning exercise itself. It's going to be a lot of fun, a chance to recalibrate, to go upstairs. Please share this with someone. And this particular one is in person only. I do provide this in some other online forums that I can share with you next time, but this one is in person. All right. Let's take a breath as we move into our offertory time, the time of conscious giving. I participate in it myself because I think we all need to do whatever it is that we're asking other people to do. So I've always been one. I can hear my father now. He used to always say, pay your taxes and pay your tithes. Both my parents were very big on tithing, and it is an important practice. I've always done it. And regardless of the amount that you give, whether you do a full-on tithe, whether you give a certain amount, whatever that is that's calling you, okay, you have to be true to that inner voice. If this message is calling you, if this is something that you feel needs to be supported and to get out there, then I encourage you to make that gift. You'll see on your screen that there are a number of opportunities and ways in which you can do that. We're not a traditional membership church. So even if this is your very first time, don't feel like you have to be restricted or constricted in any kind of way. Anybody that's with us is part of community. There's a QR code that's there you can use with any sort of mobile device. It'll allow you to do PayPal, any debit card, credit card. It also gives you an option to make it recurring. I encourage you to really consider that as an option. It makes a huge difference for us to know that there are certain amounts of money that will be there so that we are able to operate and do the programming that we do. There's also a text to give, which is another opportunity to set up that recurring donation. That's 831-231-0065. Perhaps you prefer Zelle or Venmo. Those are very popular. The handle is accounting@innerlightministries.com. There's Cash App, $ Inner Light Ministries. If you're on the website, you can just go to the donate button right there. You can also mail in at P.O. Box 1029 in SoCal, California, 95073. Regardless of your methodology, know that it is all going to healing, to transformation. We don't have a lot of fluff. We have really cut down to the bare essentials, and in the process now of doing the rebuilding and moving towards expansion. Hence this joint event that we are the main organizers of, along with the other work that we do. Remember that it's not a one-way street, that you are blessed by your own gift. Our every act produces abundance, and we dare to give freely unto the truth that sets us free. We release this gift knowing it returns to us 1,000-fold. Your generosity returns to you. So until next time, be sure to like us, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this message, come back for the affirmations or go to our website and look at them there. You know, we have a motto that we're very, very sincere about. Don't just keep these pearls to yourself. Take this consciousness and multiply it. Many blessings to you.